Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritually Fucked podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Mulholland. Let's get into the show. The fear of rejection. This has been the lesson of my entire life. Abandonment, anyone? Hello, everyone. I missed your guts. And where have I been? Well, I've been all over the place. I was in a different city that I'm not going to say because it's super top secret. And then I was in Phoenix and I was supposed to be in Phoenix this weekend and now I'm not because I am not feeling well. That doesn't matter though, but I've been spending a lot of time on my Substack. So if you're not on my Substack, you need to get on the Substack because I post every single day. So if you like consistency, that's a great place to start. In other news, this is the 14th episode. Can you believe it? You see, people, I can commit. I can commit. So, the fear of rejection. The reason I wanted to do this was inspired by my Substack. So, if you want to go back and read that article, the article is called The Illusion of Rejection. And another reason I was inspired to do this is because it's been my fear my entire life. And I didn't really realize it was such a fear of mine until I was put in situations and this year and just realizing that a lot of the root of the things I did was in fear of being rejected, like having multiple personalities in different scenarios and just trying to be someone I'm not so I am liked because I'm a fear that I'm going to get rejected or whatever. And so I've had a lot of experiences in this. I don't know. Am I an expert in rejection? Maybe, because that's been my life's journey, but it's because I've been rejecting myself my entire life. And as within, so without. So if you're rejecting your own self, people are going to reject you or reflect a rejection or abandon you and whatever. And so I was realizing that this was such an issue when I was abandoning myself in fear of being abandoned by others. And what does that mean? Well, when you do things that you don't want to do because you don't want others to leave you, you are abandoning yourself because you have a fear that they are going to abandon you. And I just found out yesterday, someone was telling me, someone who I take great advice from, that people pleasing is actually lying. And I was like, wait, that makes so much fucking sense because when you're people pleasing or trying to please others when you don't want to do something, you're literally lying to them. And then lying's never good, right? Like, we don't want to be liars. I know a lot of liars and I don't want to be like them. But the fear of being rejected, if this is a theme in your life, how do you know it's a theme in your life? Well, if you are doing things in fear of being abandoned, or you are doing things and because you're afraid that if you don't do them, people are going to leave. Those are just some things. And most of the time, we're actually not being rejected. We're just being redirected. And hopefully, you realized that the redirection is always to yourself. Every opportunity and experience in this life is always a spiral back into ourselves because that's why we're here. We're here to grow and evolve. And so these experiences you're being put through, if it is rejection, it should only turn back to yourself. And you should be asking yourself, how can I evolve, up level to the next highest version of myself, or heal, quote unquote healing. Healing to me is choosing to live in your highest self every single day. So, what is our highest self? Who is our highest self? It's just who you embody when you're living your truest, most unconditional love for yourself, for life, for others. That's what healing is to me, is when you choose unconditional love for yourself, for your experiences, and for others every single day. When you're living in your highest self, whatever that highest self looks for you. My highest self is accepting of everything. My highest self always chooses the best things for me. I get good sleep. I take care of myself. I do things that I love. I help others. That's my highest self. So if I'm stepping into a path that's taking me there every single day, I am evolving. That's my viewpoint. When it comes to the fear of being rejected or abandonment, usually the root happens sometime during childhood when our subconscious or our conscious is developing, whatever. As we're developing as a little boy or little girl, you are a walking subconscious from ages 1 to 7. So any experience you see, feel, experience is developing in your brain as a personality trait. And you're starting to develop a personality. If you have a lot of experiences that you were being left alone at the playground, no one wanted to play with you, or no one picked you for dodgeball. This has been an ongoing theme in my life. I was never picked for dodgeball. Or no one wanted to play with you. Did I already say that? I don't know. I'll find out in the recording. That's usually how it works. Or I don't know, your dad didn't come home. That's like that's a huge one, right? Or your mommy didn't come home, or you were told your painting was stupid, whatever. If we have these experiences when we're younger and we don't quote unquote address them or release the emotion that was attached to that experience, they can develop into our later life, and they come back in our later life through patterns, through those experiences where you're like, why am I always dating the same person? Or why do I keep experience this? Why does everyone keep leaving me? Or why is no one picking me for adult dodgeball? Like we we don't realize, or maybe we do realize, I don't know where you are in your life, that these quote unquote issues or experiences are bigger reflections of a quote unquote unhealed trauma as a kid. I don't really like to call things unhealed or traumas. I like to label them as an experience because the word trauma and unhealed have a very negative frequency to them. And if you're putting a negative frequency to something, it doesn't always end well. It's just reprogramming your brain or reminding your brain that it's not good. But when you address something as just an experience in my life, it comes at a neutral spot. And neutrality is where you want to live. You want to see the good and bad in everything. And if you can take an experience that was maybe awful or horrible or bad and icky, and you can look at the upsides of it and create a neutral dynamic out of it, that's how we transmute emotions. That's how we have unconditional love for it. And just like Jesus, if you're into Jesus, Jesus literally came here and walked the path of unconditional love. He taught unconditional love. That's why everyone's having a Jesus moment right now. It's just the path we're stepping into as humanity is having unconditional love for everyone and everything, including our faults. That's how we heal. It's not bypassing. If you have unconditional love, you're not bypassing, but you're just seeing the beauty and the neutrality and the perfection in everything. And there is a beauty and a lesson out of rejection. And if you have had this fear your whole life of people rejecting you or this pattern, I've been there. And it triggers the nervous system. And the triggering of the nervous system is usually an emotion that has been stuck in your body for God knows how long. And you're being triggered and it's flaring up in your nervous system as butterflies of anxiety or that heart sinking feeling or your stomach dropped or literally physical shaking because it's an emotion ready to get the fuck out of there. It's trying to leave. Your body's wanting to release it because our fascia, our DNA, it holds these emotions. Hello, have you been listening to the podcast? Like our human vessel holds on to these things that our soul hasn't processed yet. And so if these experiences that you're experiencing of being afraid that someone's going to leave you, you just started talking to a guy, or you're afraid your best friend is going to be mad at you for canceling, and your body starts to have this anxiety, it's because it's this feeling that has been suppressed since you were younger is trying to leave your body. And I had this download, I had a thought when I was on a walk the other day. Well, I actually ran. I ran 6 miles. So good job, Taylor. And I was running. And then I stopped and I was walking. And, that's usually when shit starts to come through. And I just had this feeling where I wanted to crawl out of my fucking skin because I was going through something. And I was so uncomfortable. And that's when I start asking myself questions. When I'm feeling really uncomfortable, I just want to crawl out of my skin. And I ask, why do I want to crawl out of my skin? And it's because there was an emotion happening in my body that I didn't want to experience. And so I wanted to fucking get up and leave. But in those moments, you have to sit and you have to become present because it's not your soul wanting to leave your body, it's an emotion wanting to leave your body. But your soul, you, human, you don't want to feel that emotion because it's uncomfortable and it's icky and it's hard. Being a human is fucking hard. It's not easy. Yeah, slap an unconditional love sticker on all of it, but damn, there are some hard things in life. And I am want to tell you that I am walking the walk, okay? I come on this podcast so I can talk the walk I'm walking, and this walk has not been easy. Sometimes I am limping, and especially this last year when I broke my back, I literally was crawling on the floor. But, anyways, okay, back to the nervous system. So, when you're experiencing this fear, like you just meet someone and they're not texting you back, and you start to get anxious, and that anxiousness is coming from a past suppression of maybe an experience that you're still not recovered from because your dad left you and he never came back, and now you're afraid that 25 years later that this guy who you're talking to is gonna leave you and not come back. You're running on a program from the past. Daddy Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this all the fucking time about reprogramming your brain. You hear the word neuroscience all the time. Identity, personality, our personalities and our identities, they develop from ages 1 to 7. So if you have this identity of being abandoned, you're going to take that with you throughout the rest of your life, which again, it's not a problem. You are not broken. You do not need fixing. But how do you want to live your life? Do you want to evolve out of this pattern? We're going to talk about evolving out of these patterns. And the rejection illusion is we want so badly to be accepted and loved by others. I'm going to tell you something, and it might change your life. This life, this human experience, we are meant to unconditionally love and see ourselves. And if you are continuously waiting for someone else to do it for you, I hate to break it to you, but you need to be the one to do that. It is not others' jobs to love you. It is your job to love yourself. And I'm sorry if I have to break this news to you, but I can promise once you step into that, once you actually truly unconditionally love yourself, you will have others love you back. And you will have people fucking banging on your door to love you. But if that hasn't happened for you yet, you still have work to do. And the fear of that not happening is just a fear of you not loving yourself enough, or a fear that you don't think you're worthy of it. And it's all a redirection to yourself. Rejection, redirection. Every time someone rejects you, you just got to go back to yourself. What can I work on? I have seen this pattern my whole life. I was never the girl to be picked. You think, oh, Taylor, but you're so smoking hot and you're a catch and every guy wants you. No, not the guys I actually want. I'm always being rejected by the guys I actually want because I still have work to do. And I am still rejecting myself. I am 29 years old and I am figuring out that I am still rejecting parts of myself. And I'm fucking learning. I'm not perfect. I'm not going on this podcast saying everything I do and know is perfect. I'm far from it, but I'm walking you through my experience because this is what I'm experiencing. And the fear of being rejected has been the root of a lot of things in my life. When we have this fear of being rejected, we're actually leaking a lot of power because we're trying to control the situation. And I don't know, have you met me? I guess I never thought I was a control freak until I realized I was a fucking control freak. And I tried to control situations because growing up, I had no goddamn control of any of my situations. And so throughout my life, I tried to control the situations, the surroundings around me in fear of not being able to handle what would happen. And so when you are trying to control a situation, you're expending so much energy. It's like kind of insane. Because just think about how much your mind and your body and how much you have to work the room to try to control it because you're afraid of what is going to happen when you release control. You're just leaking so much power. And I don't know if you've ever realized it, but you can't control everyone. Have you tried it? It doesn't work. You can only control yourself. And so when you're trying to control the room or a relationship or someone else, you're leaking a lot of fucking power and you don't trust yourself. You don't have strength in yourself because you are trying to control the strength around you because you don't know how you're going to react to it. That's how like control freaks work. Like control freaks are just scared. They're actually control freaks are actually really weak if you think about it because they're trying to control a situation so much because they don't trust themselves enough to handle it. And rejection lowers your energetic availability for aligned people and opportunities. And what I mean by that is if you are living in this frequency of control and you're leaking energy, you're literally running off a low frequency. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to control a room, you're leaking energy, which is going to put you in a lower vibration. So the people that are actually meant for you are not going to vibrate. Are not going to align with you. Just think of the two tuning forks. Have you seen that video yet I made? The two tuning forks? They only resonate at the same frequency if they're at the same hertz. And so if you're at a lower frequency, you're going to attract those lower frequency people. And do you want those lower frequency people in your life? I don't know, maybe you do. I don't. I want people at my frequency. So I'm going to work on being myself. Easier said than done, Taylor, but I'm going to work on being myself. It's about self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a big fucking word. It's so much harder than it really is. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a lot easier and I'm making it harder. But to look yourself in the mirror, you can say, oh, I accept myself. Until you walk into a room full of people and then you want them to like you. But do you even like yourself? You have to like yourself for other people to like you. Did you know that? Is this news to you? Did you know you have to like yourself for other people to like you? It's called reflections. So in short, it is safe to be seen as I am. Have you ever thought of that affirmation? Have you ever thought it's safe to be seen who you are? This is new information for me. The rejection practice. This is how we rewire our brains. If we put our preach to practice. So I'm preaching it, you're listening, and now we got to put it into practice. And so I'm inviting you to take every experience in life as a test, like you're in school. You're in life school and you're taking every situation, uncomfortable, good, whatever, and you're just clocking it in as information, as learning. And when something hard comes up, you're going to extra pause. You're going to take an extra pause and you're going to say, what can I extract from this? And for example, if rejection, let's take that. If rejection is something you can strengthen, how do we do this? Well, whenever you're given an opportunity that is asking you to do something, like, I don't know, do you want to go on a date? Do you want to go on a trip? Do you want to do this or that? And just sit with it. And it's like, do you want to go? Yes. Okay, then go. Do you want to go? No. Okay, well, how are you going to respond to that? Because if you say yes and you actually don't want to go, but you have to say yes because you are scared that this person's going to leave you if you say no, or you're scared that they're not going to like you anymore if you say no, but you don't really want to do it, not only are you lying, but you are abandoning yourself in fear by being abandoned by someone else. You are doing something you don't want to do because you're scared they're going to leave. What do you think that reflection is? If you are abandoning yourself in that moment to do something because you're afraid that person's going to leave, at the end of the day or at the end of your life, that pattern is still going to continue because you are abandoning yourself. So you might think doing all these extra services, extra things for others that you really don't want to do. You're trying to be a good person. You want to be accepted by these people. You don't want them to leave you. So you're doing all these things, but you're actually abandoning yourself. That energy is going to reflect into your life. So if you find yourself continuously doing these things, exhausting yourself, trying to serve other people, trying to prove yourself to other people, but they still leave you, it's because you're still abandoning yourself. And I have fucking experienced this my entire life where I go above and beyond for others, but I still was being left. And it was because I was abandoning myself in those moments because I was fearing that they were going to leave me. And trust me, this awareness, it kind of blew my mind. But at the same time, I'm like, how do I fucking change it? Like, you can't just wake up tomorrow and have the voice to speak up for yourself. I'm still strengthening it. I'm still trying to learn how to stick up for myself. It's really hard for me, or it has been really hard for me. I'm learning to speak up for my needs. As simple as I need a glass of water. This bed I'm sleeping in is not that comfortable. I don't want to go do that thing. I still have a hard time saying those things because I don't want to disappoint others. I don't want to make them sad. I don't want them to leave me. But in those moments, I'm afraid to speak up for myself. And that is where I'm abandoning myself. If your mind is being blown right now, mine is too, because this has been the core root of a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with that because you were meant to learn how to survive. And it was a survival thing for a long time. Generations. I mean, if you listen to my last episode about the witch wound, how feelings and emotions pass through DNA. And so you could see it through your mom or your grandma, and now it's in you, where we think we have to serve others or leave parts of ourselves behind to be accepted by others to survive, or you'll be casted out or rejected. And it still lives in our nervous system, and it's like getting anxiety, and you're like, is this even from this lifetime, or is it from my past lifetimes? It could be something so small, like someone not texting you back, and you go on a fucking spiral. And it's because you want that security from them, or you want to feel this acceptance from them or this presence from them. But the root of all that is you just don't feel safe and secure in yourself. And so your body reads it as a threat, and you start to fucking spiral and freak out. And so it's not a weakness to have this. It's just a survival mechanism you have developed, and it's time to break free. It's time to step into learning that you really don't need anyone else to survive. And that's coming from someone who still lives at home, and I still need my mom financially to pay rent. And listen, I'm saying this, and I'm saying it from I'm learning. Like, I'm telling myself this. You really don't need anyone else to survive. We get to be with others to thrive. We survive on our own, and others help us thrive. This is the medicine I wish everyone would take home, is to work on themselves, to support themselves fully emotionally, so then others around them can do the same. Like, if everyone's just taking care of themselves, when we all get together, we can thrive together. If everyone's surviving on their own, together we can thrive. And listen, this is coming from someone like, I want a man to take care of my needs. I want him to pay for things. Like, I want to be the little housewife. Like, I seek that in my life. But it has to come from myself first. I have to emotionally support myself first. I have to financially support myself first. If I want to attract these things in my life, it has to start at my root. And if you are continuously abandoning yourself, people are going to abandon you. You see how everything as within, so without. It's all a reflection. So when you recognize the programs you're running off of and operating from, it's not telling yourself it's wrong or you're doing it wrong. It's just saying, how can I do this better? If you are overthinking before you speak or post, maybe this is a survival mechanism you're living off of, and you're trying to make yourself more palatable for others. People pleasing. Oh my God. Why are you kissing people's asses? Because you don't want them to leave, probably. You want them to like you. Perfectionism. I never thought I was a perfectionist until I started fucking creating stuff. And then I would eat myself alive if I did something wrong. It's like believing that if you don't perform well, no one will like it, or no one will love you, or you'll lose love. Pulling back first. Ending things before someone else can hurt you. Taylor. Sound familiar? That has been Taylor's relationship life. I always pull back. And then I get sad because I go, why did I do that? And it's probably because I'm afraid that they're going to leave me. So I pull back first. Reading between the lines, assuming silence, delay, or distance mean you did something wrong. Oof. The did I do something wrong? I think me and my friends, well, we've had a lot of conversations of it. I don't want to speak for them, but the feeling like we did something wrong, like if a relationship doesn't work out, and it's like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? That is like the worst fucking feeling ever. But I think maybe if there was something you did wrong, it's you left yourself first. It's always a redirection back home. We are all here to walk each other home. And sometimes that's by having someone walk away from you. And then you have to be the one to fucking walk back into your own shoes and say, okay, let's keep going, Taylor. Let's keep walking. Everyone's a mirror. They're going to mirror back how you are treating yourself. And if you are abandoning yourself, you are going to be abandoned by others. It's just how it works. I didn't make up the rules, people. I didn't make the laws of the universe. I am just teaching them through experience. So how can you tell if you're rejecting yourself? You are dismissing your own needs. Oh my God, this has been my life. Being a dog sitter and just living in all these other homes and like sleeping on couches and just like not giving a fuck. But I got a paycheck from it and realizing that I wasn't sleeping ever, and it's been a whole thing. And I was doing it to people please and to please my clients and to, I don't know, please my friends, and never speaking up for my needs. And I ended up being fucking sick or hurting myself. And my thing was, oh, it's okay. I'm easy. I'm so low maintenance. Am I? No. Am I a low maintenance person? I don't think so. I like fresh spring water. I like to sleep in a fucking clean bed. I like to shower before bed. I like to eat grass-fed meat. I like good salt. Okay, I am pretty high maintenance when it comes to taking care of myself, and I have made things not that big a deal. And I have shoved things under the rug for others and made myself so fucking small, and I'm kind of a big person. Okay, I like to be taken care of. And that's me rejecting myself, saying, oh, it's not that big a deal. I can sleep on the dirt outside, like, no big deal. Are you kidding? Like, you guys, I did the stupidest fucking shit for others and made it seem like it wasn't that big a deal, but it was a big deal. It was. Minimizing your accomplishments. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, no, I published a book, but it's like not, like, who cares? Like, it's not that big a deal. Sound familiar, Taylor? Feel shame for your desires or emotions. Oof, this was a big one. I think mainly with just the big fucking visions I've had, my heart desires. Just feeling shame for them. Why would I want to travel the world? That's so selfish of me. Shouldn't I feed kids in Africa with that money? Like just stupid shit like that, or oh, diminishing your emotions. Good lord, I feel big. I'm a fucking feeler and making my emotions so small to make others comfortable. What a shame that is. Cuz then you just attract small people. You keep yourself small, you attract small people. But if you love big, you're going to attract big love, but only if you share that, Taylor. If you don't allow yourself to take up space, physically, energetically, or online. Yep. Sound familiar, anyone? Is this resonating with you? I'm learning to take up space, but maybe I don't know, I'm not going to get into that. So, I do a good job in that. So, I'm going to give a pat on my back for Taylor because I post whenever the fuck I want and what I want, and I love that about myself. So, good job, Taylor. Feel envy or comparison, but turn it into self-criticism instead of curiosity. Man, jealousy and envy were my middle name in high school. I always envied the girls who had perfect families, who had nice clothes. I mean, I was fucking on food stamps in high school. Like, there was no way I was getting clothes. And so I really envied a lot. And then I later turned that into inspiration. I learned to take jealousy and envy and say, if she can do it, I can do it. I'm inspired by her for having that. And I love the word curiosity, approaching that with curiosity. Great. How does she do that? How does she get that? That opens up a whole palette of curiosity in your mind. And then when you're living from a curious state, a curious frequency, anything can just drop in. So, how to stop rejecting yourself? Just awareness. Awareness before action. Why are you doing the things you're doing? What is causing you to do that? Do you really want to go do these things for others? If you do, that's great. We need more people like you. But if you don't, just like sit with it. You can still say yes. Like, you don't have to tell no to everyone. Jeez. No, like, sit with things and just have the curiosity and awareness. Repair, not punishment, people. Just sit with yourself. And if you have abandoned yourself in the past for others, no biggie. Just say, okay, I see you. I hear you. I'm safe. I'm here. Thank you for that experience. I love you. Experience. Extract the meaning from it and then move on. Fucking move on. Take the meaning and move on. Your body is a compass. Listen to it. Feel it. What is coming up? Is this anxiety because you don't want to do this and you're saying yes? Is this anxiety because you fear this person's going to leave? Are you anxious that this person's not texting you back because you think they are gone and you did something wrong? Just sit with it. And when you start to notice, when you start showing up for yourself, people will show up for you. It is all a reflection, people. I will grab your shoulders and shake you until I can admit that. As soon as I stopped doing things I didn't want to do and started stepping into my own self and started doing things for me, solely for me, people started to reflect back and I started being treated better by others and started being taken out more by others and just started being appreciated by others because I was fucking appreciating myself. And you have to reparent yourself because we didn't always grow up with the quote unquote best parents. I believe we signed soul contracts coming down here and everything is divinely orchestrated. I have unconditional love for both my parents, but maybe they aren't the parent that is, I don't know, Dr. Phil, is he a good dad? Like, maybe they're not writing parenting books, but they were the exact parents I needed, and I'm so grateful for that. But there are parts where I still needed to reparent myself, and that's what I'm learning in this lifetime. And that's such a gift to learn, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's giving yourself the unconditional love you always wanted from others, but it's coming from your own heart. And then boundaries as self-love. Just practice creating boundaries with yourself and with others, and I still have a hard time with this. I think a good rule for boundaries is not committing to everything right away. I think this, if you have a hard time with boundaries, I think this is a great tip, is just not committing right away and giving a few days. Like if someone's asking you for an answer, just say, hey, can I get back to you? That's a boundary. And it gives you time to think because sometimes we say yes too often and we don't sit with it long enough and it might have been a no. So just really have boundaries for yourself and create this protection coating around you. And if it takes time for people to get through that coating, like that's fine. Like create yourself a boundary. I don't know if that really made sense, but I just felt like really saying that. So radical self-love and creating the love internally will reflect externally. That's how love works, baby. We're all just a mirror. And when you are vibrating at a fucking high ass frequency of self love, unconditional self love for yourself, you will find and you will attract someone who has that for you. Here's something I'll leave you with. I accept every version of me, even the ones that are scared, messy, or learning. I did not write that, but it is in my notes. So I'm going to read it. So the reclamation is belonging to yourself. This could have been labeled as a relationship podcast because really the relationship is with yourself. That is how you will attract your divine partner. People, you got to date yourself. You got to F yourself. You got to love yourself. Until you do that, you can still attract people, but are they going to be the highest alignment for yourself? Oh, I attract toxic partners. Well, where inside of you is toxic, bitch? Like, figure it out. You figure it out by going inward. And that is the redirection of rejection. And that is this podcast. So I'll end you with this. See the perfection in everything. Okay? Just take that. Go listen to some music. I have a Spotify if you ever need good jams. It's Taylor Mulholland. I have great music. I have the best music in the fucking world. And I'm sure you'll love it. Okay? I'm just going to leave you with that. And that I adore you. Thank you so much for being here. Please write me a review if you feel called. I don't know if anyone has written me a review yet. I think the only person who wrote me a review was me. So if you can go add to that, that's great. If not, just go have a great day. I care about humanity and I care about you. And if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're a high frequency soul and I'm so grateful that you're here. Okay? Okay, everyone. Bye-bye. Don't reject yourself.